Cam has a very, very, very high perception of himself, and rightfully so. He's a very good player. Um, the only thing is that all the guys that he compared himself to, Skip, have won multiple championships, and they've been multiple MVPs. And once they started winning championships, they didn't regress. They didn't start missing playoffs. So if he wants to be thought of or along those same lines, he's going to have to pick up his level of play, and he's going to have to maintain that level of excellence. And we haven't seen that. We've seen great, we've seen dips, we've seen great, we've seen dips. And what we've seen for these guys that he mentioned, there's really no dips. Once they got to that level, and the thing that people most admire about Brady is not that he's 40 years old, is that he's playing the same way he's played like when he was 27 years of age.
Yep.
So there's been no dip in his play. LeBron James has been the de facto best player in the league for over the last decade. Kobe, we know what Kobe represents. And Michael, we don't even, first of all, let's just keep Michael out of this discussion. Skip, the thing that, when I listen to Cam talks, there are a lot of things that are mutually exclusive to Cam Newton. He hates losing. Cam Newton is the only professional athlete that hates losing. Cam Newton wants to win.
Oh.
He's the only one that wants to win.
Newsflash.
And then he said, I don't know if we talked about it, the process of him wearing the number 1, that's why he picked that number. So once he got to the NFL, that was the only time he wanted to be number 1. Guess what number he wore in high school, Skip?
Oh.
When he went to Glenn Junior College, guess what number he wore?
Don't know.
When he went to the Auburn University, guess what number he wore? So once he got to the NFL, that was the only time that he wanted to be number 1.
Maybe he should go back to wearing 2, because those other stops were really good, right?
But here's the thing, though.
Once a jinx.
Yeah,
but once he got to Carolina, they had taken a quarterback the year before in the second round, Jimmy Clausen. Guess what number he was? 2. So there's a good chance he couldn't get the number 2. And that's why he chose number 1. Now, maybe if he'd have gone to Jimmy, maybe if he'd have really wanted that number, I'm sure Cam Newton could have gotten it.
Yep.
But for him to say, well, this is why I chose number 1, because I want to be number 1, what do you think Tom Brady's saying? I want to be number 2. Cam want to be number 1. I'm going to let Cam have this thing. What is Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger, all the other great quarterbacks? Cam, being great is not mutually exclusive to you. You're not the only one that when you lose, it's painful. You're not the only one that wants to win and be great. And he says, the pressure, because I'm, Skip, what quarterback there is not pressure on? Well, and I don't say I hate using the term pressure, because pressure is something you feel when you're unprepared, when you don't know what the hell you're doing. I know Cam was prepared. I know he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But you don't think there's pressure on Brian Hoyer? Who do they think they expect to make the plays? Even Josh McCown, who's played for a third of the team, the New York Jets, expect him to go out there and perform and put them in the right situation so they can win games. I get it. You're the number 1 overall draft pick. You're an MVP. The expectations level maybe are heightened because once you reach that certain level, they don't expect you to take a step back. But Cam, this mutually exclusiveness with losing and winning and being great, it doesn't only apply to you, bruh. I know Cam a little bit. I know his dad a lot better than I know Cam. His dad went to Savannah State. He's a few years older than I am. And when I see him,
tried out for the Dallas Cowboys. Go ahead.
and we talk and reminisce about some of the days at Savannah State. But Skip, I don't got no problem. He want to be great. He gonna put the time in. I know he's gonna prepare. He had the shoulder surgery this offseason, and so he just started throwing. But I believe he'll be ready to go. And I don't have a problem. But man, this only I want to do this. Only I can do that. And this is only. That's the problem. That's where he loses me.
Yeah.
Got no question about his ability to Skip, but this is where he misses me entirely.
I appreciate all the insight, almost the big brother kind of insight you just provided, which leads me to my conclusion from a distance, my 2 cents of concern for Cam. He is so painfully, publicly introspective to a fault. He's constantly putting himself on the proverbial psychiatrist's couch in public. I'm this and I'm that and I'm this. And it's so dangerously self-aware and self-absorbed that after a while, you just talk yourself into oblivion. You think yourself into oblivion. what he said to start with was correct. Every time he's ever stepped on a field of any kind, as he said, even a softball field, yeah, he's expected to be the biggest and best on the field, make the most plays, right?
Yes.
Since he was a little kid. It's Cam Newton. He's what is he, 6'6"?
Yeah, 6'6", probably about 250.
Yeah. So we get that. But then he goes to the point where all those other guys are always expected. MJ, Kobe, LeBron, Brady. Yeah, they were. But they never thought about it. They didn't talk about it. They just were. They just did it.
Right.
You know? They knew they were expected to be the best, to make the plays.
Right.
But Cam keeps talking about it to a fault, and then he keeps couching it as in, gee, it's hard. There's so much pressure. Well, these other guys, they never talked about the pressure they felt, right?
No.
Michael Jordan, can you imagine him sitting down saying, you know, it's just so hard on me because everybody thinks I'm going to make the last shot. He didn't say a word about it.
No.
He just said, give me the ball and get out of my way.
As a
right?
true freshman, Skip, he took the last shot. Not National College Player of the Year James Worthy. James Worthy was the first overall pick in 82 draft, 83 draft?
You know, you're talking about the 82 national
Yeah,
championship
game.
And by the way, on that court, I think it was the most collective talent we ever saw in a national championship
Number
game.
1 overall pick, Patrick Ewing was on that court.
Yeah.
And Sleepy
Sleepy
Floyd was there.
yes.
And Reggie Williams, and you had James Worthy, and you had Sam Perkins. And
And the kid took the shot.
he took
won
it.
the game.
A freshman.
Yeah. Okay. And that's when you should have known. That's the guy.
So what
right
the
there.
expectation for him moving forward, Skip? After you hit that shot as a freshman, where do you go from there?
Okay. So now he's talking about, I wore number 1 for a reason. I want to dominate. I want to be the best. But now I have to mature and defer to my teammates. Well, okay, but I don't really need to hear that. You know, that's for you to know in your heart and mind and to start to execute. And there's some truth to that I get. But he even went to the lengths of talking about, I don't want to be seen as having had my best days. So he's already got negative thoughts in his head, like maybe I'm past my prime now.
Right.
Got my shoulder and I've been banged up.
28.
Yeah, really? You're past your prime? No. So to me, there comes a point where I love athletes to talk. It's great for us and all that. But he talks himself into oblivion too often.
Yeah.
To me, because as you know, you can overthink things.
You can
think too much until you're thinking on the football field to a fault about the pressure. It's in your head. I got to do this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. No, maybe I should defer. Maybe I should flip it to the back this time. Well, after a while, you're going to be a wreck mentally. And I fear that he's going down that path.